Hello students, welcome to all at my classroom platform. This is SN ma'am, your biology mentor, and today we are here to share some questions or to discuss some question on the topic evolution and human health and disease. And these questions are going to help you guys in your CUET examination. So guys, let's begin with our questionnaires. And these questions are purely as per the syllabus of class 12th of NCERT. So these questions will going to help you a lot in your examination. Here we go with our first question. Which of the following is the correct answer? The first life originated in the water. Second option is eobionts are hypothetical chemical precursors of a living cell. The first life form on the earth were the chemoheterotropic organisms, and more than one options are correct. So what is the correct answer of the following question? In this case, option number A, that life originated in water, was absolutely correct. Initially, primitive cellular forms appear in the watery medium, in the aqueous medium. Eubionts are the hypothetical chemical precursors which do not have power to divide, but they were acting as the precursors of the living cell. First life form which originated on earth was able to utilize the chemicals present, organic chemicals present in the water as a source of nutrition. So they were chemoheterotrophs. So all the statements are correct, and hence we are choosing more than one option is correct. Second question. Life on earth originated in water, in air, on land, and both B and C, that means on air and land. The correct answer of this will be option number A, that life originated in the aquatic medium. So we will choose the water. Coacervates are. These are protobionts with protein, polysaccharides and water. They are aggregation of inorganic salt material. They are bilayer lipid with colloidal proteinaceous particle, or they are mesokaryotic cell. So what is coacervates exactly? They are the protobionts with protein, carbohydrate and water molecules. When these three chemicals combine together, they give rise to coacervates. During early course of evolution on earth, the source of energy was. What was the major source of energy on the earth during the early period of evolution of earth? The lightning and UV rays, infrared rays, boiling lava, or the free ATP present in the environment. So the initial phase, the source of energy on the earth was the lightning and the UV rays. Which of the following is true for the Charles Darwin? Charles Darwin, this name is associated with the theory of evolution. So, here are given certain points. We have to find out which of the following is true. The first statement is, he traveled around the world in a sail ship called HMS Beagle. This was absolutely correct because the name of his ship was HMS Beagle. So, this is correct. He concluded that existing living forms share similarities to the varying degrees. Of course, whatever living forms are existing in the current scenario or was present at that time period, they were showing some level of similarities. Many of the ancestral life forms do not exist anymore. This is also correct. So many life forms has extincted. वो पूरी तरह से गायब हो चुकी हैं. Now they are not present as they were originated or they were found some time back. So here the given all three options are correct, and that is why according to Darwin all the statements are true. The Miller's experiment gave the evidence for the theory of chemical evolution, abiogenesis, biogenesis, or spontaneous regeneration or spontaneous generation. Miller's theory is related with the chemical evolution. He experimented on development of different type of organic molecules by creating the environment which was initially assumed to be present on the early atmosphere of the earth. Who gave a definite proof of life arising from pre-existing life? Darwin, Capron, Pasteur, or Heldon? life originates from pre-existing life. One scientist conducted S-shaped neck experiment and he kept the broth in a bowl jar, and the experiment was done by Pasteur. Charles Darwin was the first person to propose about the evolution, that Earth is older than a few hundred years, that population growth can outpace the growth of food resources, or a mechanism for evolution that was supported by evidence. So Darwin was related with, he gave the theory of evolution by telling us different type of evidences which supports his theory as well. So the correct answer regarding the Charles Darwin and evolution is option number D. Alfred Wallace, a naturalist. He worked in Malay archipelago. Let me tell you one thing. He is the person who was working almost at the same time when Darwin was working. He concluded similar to that of the Charles Darwin. He believed in fixity of species. That means species are fixed. They do not show any kind of changes. So, Alfred Wallace was associated with just A and B. That means he was working all together or at the same time when Charles Darwin was working, and he worked at this place. But fixity of species was not believed by Alfred Wallace. So, the correct answer will be D, that is both A and B. Natural selection is based on the following. Number 1, variation exists within the population. The best adapted individual tend to leave more number of offsprings. Option C, individuals who survive longer tend to leave more offsprings than those who dies in the young stage. According to me, they should be all correct. Variations exist in the population. This is correct because in a population, all the organisms are not of same type. They show certain kind of differences or variations. Best adapted individual will give more birth to the offspring. When an individual is surviving for the longer time period, then it has chance to reproduce for many times and it can give rise to multiple or more offsprings as compared to a young dying person. So, all these options A, B, C are the correct. The study of fossils shows that life forms varied over the time and certain life forms are restricted to certain geological time span. Study of fossils shows that the new form of life arose at the same time in the history of the earth. Fossils confirm the theory of panspermia, or the fossil confirms the theory of spontaneous generation. So, according to me, the correct answer is option number A. That means the fossil shows that different life form appeared or varied over the time into a restricted geographical area in different geographical time period. Next, what is paleontology? It includes study of fossils to determine organisms' evolution. It is the study of latest geographical changes. It deals with non-cellular evolution. It is the study of fossil of Jurassic periods only. So, paleontology simply says study of fossils which is used to determine the pattern of evolution of an organism. Next is, what do we mean by homology? It indicates common ancestry. It includes example like vertebrates, heart or brain. Both A and B, it is the cause of convergent evolution. Homology is produced due to convergent evolution or due to the divergent evolution. You have to think and then answer. So, the correct answer is option number C. That is, it indicates a common ancestry. And what are the homologous structure? They show the same point of origin. Original structures or the origin point will be the same, but the originating structure can show varied functions. Development or evolution of different body parts or organs of different organisms can show the homology. Analogous structures are the result of convergent evolution, are anatomically different, having similar function. They can be exemplified by the eyes of octopus and eyes of mammals or the flippers of penguins and dolphins. It is related to all the above. So analogous structures क्या होती हैं? जिनका origin अलग अलग हुआ हो, जो सेम फंक्शन परफॉर्म करने के लिए बनी हो. तो एनाटॉमिकल स्ट्रक्चर कैसी होंगी? डिफरेंट होंगी, बट फंक्शन जो है वो सेम परफॉर्म होंगे और इनका इवोल्यूशन हो रहा है कन्वर्जेंटली. सो ऑल थिंग्स आर रिलेटेड टू द एनालॉगस स्ट्रक्चर. सेलेक्ट द एनालॉगस स्ट्रक्चर. विंग्स ऑफ बटरफ्लाई एंड बर्ड. Butterfly wings are originated from the dermis of their body, while in case of birds, it is originated from their forelimbs. Flipper of penguin and dolphin. Penguin is a bird, dolphin is a mammal. Their forelimbs modified into the same structure. That means their anatomy is same. Thorns of bougainvillea and tendrils of cucurbita, and more than one option is correct. So here we would like to go for the more than one option is correct. Next, which of the following gives clue to the common ancestry for different organisms? Diverse organisms have similarities in genes and proteins performing to a given function. Diverse organisms have completely different proteins. Diverse organisms have completely different genes. Similar organisms may have different genes and proteins. Here we have to find the common ancestry pattern. So, ancestry is common and then there is a lineage into the different direction. So, the correct answer will be option number A, that diverse organisms have similarities in their genes and that is why in their proteins which perform a particular given function. What must be true of an organ that is described as vestigial? In short, the question is asking what do we mean by vestigial structures? It must be analogous to some feature of the ancestor. It must be homologous to some features in an ancestor. It must be both homologous or analogous to some feature of an ancestor, and it need be neither homologous nor analogous to some features in an ancestor. The correct answer regarding the vestigial structure will be B, that it must be homologous to some feature of an ancestor. That means origin should be same. In the ancestral form, they are functional, but in current scenario, they are not used. That is why they are called as vestigial structures. DNA sequences in many human genes are similar to the sequence of corresponding genes in the chimpanzees. That means DNA of human and chimpanzees are showing some point similarity. The most likely explanation for this result is that human evolved from chimpanzees, chimpanzees evolved from human and chimpanzee shared a relative recent common ancestor, and convergent evolution led to the DNA similarities in both the organism. Correct answer will be both of they have shown a common ancestor at the beginning phase. From one point, there are two different lineage moved. At one side, chimpanzees develop, on the another, human develop. That is why they show so much similarities in their genomic content. Tasmanian wolf is a marsupial, while the wolf is a placental mammal. This shows convergent type of evolution. That means their ancestor was same at one point. When they diversified into the different geographical area, certain changes appear in their body. One has become marsupial while another has become the placental mammal. Birbal Sahani Institute of Paleobotany, that means where we study the fossils related to botany, is located in Lucknow, Hyderabad, Dehradun and New Delhi. The Birbal Sahani Institute of Paleobotany is located in Lucknow. The book on evolution by Charles Darwin is, here we have to choose or select the name of that book which was written by Charles Darwin. The Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection, Origin of Life, Chemical Evolution or Philosophia Zoologica. The Darwin gave the theory of evolution or the process of evolution by natural selection, and he also told at the same time how species are originated by the force of natural selection. So the name of his book was on the origin of species by means of natural selection. The resemblance between widely different groups show certain level of resemblance due to the common adaptation, divergent evolution, parallel evolution, retrogressive evolution, or the convergent evolution. The correct answer will be convergent evolution. They were the two different groups but converged at the same point for one particular feature. Choose the odd one with respect to vestigial structure in human. Vermiform appendix, it is a vestigial structure. Wisdom teeth, that is the last or third molar teeth. This is also a vestigial structure. Body hair, vestigial structure. Epiglottis, which covers the glottal when we swallow the food to cover the windpipe. Epiglottis is not at all vestigial. This is fully functional in nature. These three are vestigial structure, but this is not. So the correct answer will be D. Good health. What do we mean by the good health? Good health means absence of disease and physical fitness of the body. It is the state of complete physical, mental and social well-being, increases longevity of people and reduces infant and maternal mortality. It is related to all of the above. So good health indicates all these above features. A person should be fit and fine, its body should be free of any kind of disease. According to WHO, physical, mental and social well-being is mandatory for a good health. All these given statements are associated with the good health. After an Rh positive baby is born to an Rh negative mother, the mother is treated with antibodies specific for the Rh factor. Why this treatment is done? The purpose of this treatment is to protect her from the baby's red blood cell, to prevent her from generation of memory B cells, and specific for Rh factor to protect her future Rh positive baby, both B and C. So what is happening here? When an Rh mother gives rise to birth to a Rh positive baby, at the time of parturition, certain amount of blood get mixed, and due to that, Rh positive factor of baby enter into the body of Rh negative mother. At this point, two functions are carried out. Protection of her future Rh positive baby will be carried out. But how? It will be generated, it will be done by generating or by preventing her from the generation of B memory cells, so that these will not encounter later on to the next pregnancies. Among non-infectious diseases, the major cause of death is AIDS, HIV, cancer, autoimmune diseases. We have to find non-infectious disease, which is altogether limited to a one person. Cancer and autoimmune disease, out of which the major cause of death is observed in case of cancer. Which of the following is correct? Parasites like bacteria, virus, fungi and protozoa are pathogens as they harm host. Here we have to find the correct statement. Pathogen needs no adaptation to live within a host. Parasites can live only inside the host but not on the host. We have to find the correct answers. The correct answer will be A, because pathogen needs some adaptation to survive within the host. Parasite can live on the surface and inside the body as well. That is why they are called as ectoparasite and endoparasite respectively. So the correct answer will be A. Typhoid Mary is the nickname of. This nickname was given to Mary Mellon, who was spreading the disease typhoid, or who was spreading the infection of Salmonella typhi to many of the people. Pneumonia is caused by Haemophilus influenza, Plasmodium, Bacillus, all of these. And causative agent of pneumonia is Haemophilus influenza. Apart from this, pneumonia can also be caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae, in which disease alveoli gets filled with fluid, leading to severe respiratory problems, asthma, pneumonia, diphtheria or common cold. Alveoli are getting filled with fluid, and this condition is observed in case of pneumonia when the X-ray of chest appear very much foggy due to fluid filled condition. Common cold infects lungs, nasal and respiratory passage, both A and B, lungs and heart. Common cold in the infection of upper respiratory tract. So it is going to infect only nasal and respiratory passage. Diphtheria is connected with blood, lungs, throat or liver. Diphtheria is the infection of throat. Syphilis is caused by, here we have to find out the causative agent of syphilis, and that is Leptospira, Vibrio, Treponema pallidum or Pasteurella. The syphilis, which is a sexually transmitted disease or the disease of the genital parts, this is caused by Treponema pallidum. The most serious type of malaria is dash, which is caused by dash. Malignant malaria, causative agent is Plasmodium falciparum. Quartan malaria caused by Plasmodium malariae. Benign tertian malaria caused by Plasmodium vivax and mild tertian malaria caused by Plasmodium ovale. The most serious or dangerous or fatal or lethal type of malaria is malignant malaria, which is caused by Plasmodium falciparum. Allergy is due to the release of histamine, serotonin, certain chemicals from the mast cell, or all the above. In case of allergy, all these substances are secreted, which leads to allergic symptoms, inflammation, redness, itching, irritation, etc. Entamoeba histolytica is a dash parasite in the dash of human which cause amoebiasis or amoebic dysentery. So here we have to find out which type of parasite it is and what is the site of infection within the human body. Entamoeba histolytica is a bacteria, protozoa, bacteria, protozoa. So we have only two options. Entamoeba histolytica is a protozoan which is causing infection to the large intestine, small intestine, esophagus or large intestine. It is infecting to the large intestine of the human. So the correct answer will be option number D. The mechanical carrier of amoebic dysentery is commonly housefly, mosquito, cockroaches or termites. Amoebic dysentery spreads from contaminated food and water and it is transferred to the food and water with the help of houseflies. Aedes is the vector of a viral disease. Which of the following? Dengue, chikungunya, malaria, both A and B. Aedes, female Aedes mosquito is the vector for both dengue and chikungunya. So correct answer will be option number D. In case of malaria, the vector is female Anopheles mosquito. In case of dengue and chikungunya, it is female Aedes mosquito. Cellular barrier in innate immunity involves PMNL neutrophils, that means polymorph nuclear leukocytes, monocytes, natural killer cells and all of above. All these three are type of cells which are giving innate immunity. So here the answer will be all of these. Interferons. It belongs to a large class of proteins called cytokines. Interferons are signaling protein made and released by host cell in response to a viral infection, both A and B, and these are the polysaccharides completely. So interferons are proteinaceous particles which are secreted by virus infected cells. So the correct answer will be option number C. Physiological barrier of innate immunity includes skin and mucus, acid in the stomach, saliva in the mouth and tears from eyes, RBC and WBCs and cytokines. Physiological barriers are option number B, that is acidic pH in the stomach, saliva which contain lysozyme, tears which contain lysozymes. When our body encounter a pathogen for the first time, then what will happen? Specific B and T cells start dividing to produce effective B and T cells. It initiates a response called primary immune response. The immune system produces memory B and T cells which encounter later on to the secondary infection. All of the above occur. When the infection is taking place for the first time, all these three activities mentioned in A, B and C are taking place. So the correct answer will be option number D. An antibody is represented as, antibodies are also called as immunoglobulins, and these immunoglobulins contain or have this Y-shaped structure. In this, two heavy chains are found, H1, H2. So combinedly we can call them at H2. These two are the lighter chains. H2L2 is the combination where H stands for heavy and L stands for light. H2L2 is the representation of antibodies. Correct answer will be D. Which one is true for humoral immunity? When a pathogen enters the blood, then what will happen? B lymphocytes get activated and differentiates into the plasma cells. Undifferentiated B lymphocytes remains as memory cells. Both A and B happens. B lymphocyte produces an army of glycolipids against the pathogen. Immunoglobulins are not glycolipids. Correct answer is option number C. B cells are getting activated and they differentiate into plasma cell, which later on produce antibodies. An undifferentiated B cell remains as memory cells, which later on encounter in the secondary immune responses. What is antigen? These are always part of microorganism. They can be pollens, egg whites, certain fruits, microorganisms and drugs. They are always made up of protein. They are always polysaccharides. So if we talk about the nature of antigen, it can be any microbes, any protein particle, egg white, or any kind of drug or chemical. So correct answer will be B. Haptens. These are incomplete antigen that do not cause any kind of immune response. They can bind to MHC effectively, both A and B, and they can bind or they can be DNA, RNA and most of the proteins. Haptens are inactive antigen basically, which do not have the property to elicit the immune responses. So the correct answer will be A. Here we have to find out which of the following given statements are true and which are false. Antibodies are secreted by B lymphocytes, natural killer cells and T lymphocyte. Antibodies are secreted by only B lymphocyte, not by the T cell and natural killer cell. So option number 1 is false. Humoral immunity is associated with B cell. B cell produces antibody which enters into the blood's plasma, and here it is providing the humoral immunity. So option number 2 is true. The first line of defense in immune system is provided by skin and the mucous membrane. Absolutely correct. The antidote given against the snake venom has preformed antibodies. This is also absolutely right. We provide preformed antibodies against the venom of the snake. So in this case, option number first is false and rest 3 are the true. First is false and rest 3 are the true. In vaccination, a preparation of antigenic proteins of pathogens are introduced into the body. Inactivated pathogens are introduced into the body. Weakened pathogens are introduced into the body, or any of the above mentioned formulation can be used as a vaccine. So all 3 can be used as purpose of vaccine. First vaccination was performed by Mr. Edward Jenner. What is MALT? It stands for mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. This is the full form, it's correct. It is a lymphoid tissue located with the or within the mucosal lining. This is also correct. MALT constitutes approximately 50% of the lymphoid tissue in the human body. All these 3 statements are correct. So our correct answer will be option number D, that MALT is associated with all the above given option. So bacha, these were the 50 questions related to evolution and human health and diseases. I hope these questions will going to help you in your CUET exam. All the very best and good luck for your exam. Take care, stay healthy and fit and fine. Bye-bye guys.